Hello, and welcome to the Kreachur Feature Podcast. Today, my guest here is Vesnu. How are you doing today, Vesnu?
Doing pretty alright. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good day so far. Yeah, got some stuff done. Are you ready for the questions?
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready.
Awesome. All right, let's get it started with the first few that we'll ask you is mostly related to VR chat stuff. You ready for those?
Yeah, I'm ready for those.
All right. First question: how long have you played VR chat for?
Funny enough, I'm actually relatively new to the game. I've been playing it since, I would argue, late August, early October of this year.
Oh,
Somewhere
okay.
in that parameters.
I also started this year. I was in May, I think. No, it was April. April, yeah. Why did you decide to keep playing VR?
So, with me, with VR chat, it's kind of funny because one of my friends was on my Discord list, and I've noticed lately he kept playing VR chat. And before VR chat, I actually used to play a different game, Valorant, and that was just getting way too toxic. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a new game. I'm gonna try VR chat. I'm gonna go into this and see what this is like. What's the big rave about it? Because there was a few others that played it, but it was specifically him. So I started playing it, and then I started realizing a lot of my other furry friends also were playing it, and I was like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this because I actually get to meet people, and that's what I like doing.
Yeah, I know. I love socializing in games. Like, I don't really play many single player games. I like interacting with people.
Oh, same.
Do you have a favorite world? And why'd you pick it?
So, this is the closest world, hence why I chose this one to be in my favorite world, is because it is from my favorite game, Near Replicant. And it is just, I just like sitting here and listening to the music because it just brings back, well, not even brings back, I'd say I just reminisce about playing the game for the first time and like remembering the feeling when I got to this area, just based off the storyline of the game, that is. And I actually set it as my home world also.
I've never played Nier, but I've seen stuff about it and whatnot. Can you tell me anything about the game? Like, explain it to
So
me.
there is a few games. Yeah, there's a few games in the series, as far as I'm aware. I haven't played the first three. There's Dragoon 2, and then Drakengard, technically it's called, but people call it Dragoon 3. That's like the main series. Near Replicant is the Japanese version of what happens in the story after that, and then there's the American version, which is Near Gestalt. It's the same game, just different names, except the main character in the Japanese version is a older brother and a younger sister, while in the American version, it's just for audience sake, I suppose, is a dad and a daughter. And the idea of the game, without giving away too much, because it is one of those games you have to play to experience, and I don't use that lightly, because that is a very strong way of putting it, is the idea is you're basically looking for a cure for your daughter's illness. If it's Gestalt, if it's Replicant, you're looking for your sister's cure for her illness. That's the idea. When reality, the best way I can put it, by the end of the game, you're going to be questioning every single life decision you've ever made.
I like those kind of games.
Oh, it's a good game, great music, and unironically, it's been 2 years since I've played. Actually, it has been 2 years. 3 years now, actually, because come 2025, it'll be 3 years since I've played it. And to this day, I'm still listening to the OST.
What made you pick the avatar you're wearing today?
So, I started off when I first played this game. I was playing around with different avatars a lot, like the Diwali avatar, which was I think the one I mainly ran around as, because I just like small avies in general. I find them cute, adorable, all those like positive terms. But I thought it originally was the Julia Wintercause avatar, which I actually went with eventually, which is close enough to my persona, because my persona is a cat, but it just didn't realistically sit fully like with the style I had. Granted, I did retexture it, which funny enough, this game is the reason I've actually started to learn not just 3D modeling, but also Substance Painter.
Same.
Because it's honestly like, yeah, it's a great skill to have, because it gives you an understanding of the idea of like, how does your art, because I am naturally a 2D artist, but like trying to apply that to 3D models is a whole new aspect. But I eventually found through a friend of mine this Avi, which is the Kiki model, and this is the closest I can get to my actual persona. So while I'm in the modeling stage at the moment of making my actual persona as an avatar, which I know for a fact it's going to take me a couple of months to do regarding like making a model, I already got it mostly made. I just need to add a few things to it, detail it, etc., and then bring it to Blender and retext, and not retext it, retopologize it, and that's going to be a whole nother level, let alone rigging it. Yeah, I just like this one because it's very, very close to my persona.
Okay, cool. You want to introduce your persona?
Yeah, so Vesnu, or Vesnu, depending on which way you want to say it, is just your average anthropomorphic cat. However, there is a small bit of lore at the moment I am still in the development of, because come 2025 I'm actually making a comic about his lore. Hopefully that releases by the end of 2025 if all goes well. I'm making a comic about it, and I'm just going to be talking about the lore behind it. The base idea is he's actually from a different reality. He's not from this one, he's from a different one, and he got stuck in this one. There's a few other aspects I still have to flesh out. I've already made a few different OCs as well that take part in his reality, that came over as well. It's a work in progress at the moment. It did take me, I would say, 6 years to come up with I'd say a persona I'm actually happy with, because I've had many before this.
Okay, that's cool. How do you think VR chat has affected your life since you started playing?
That is a very interesting question, but it is one I actually do think about a lot. I feel like it's became, I don't know, I feel like I've become more open to a lot of like different people. Now I've always considered myself like an open person, but then like actually meeting these people in VR, like I've actually started to understand people a lot more, understanding different aspects of life. And I feel like, granted, yes, that is a usual go-to answer, but one thing I've noticed is that it suits me really well, because in reality I actually don't really get out a lot, considering my job is a freelance artist in the digital realm. So I am sitting in front of a screen about God knows how many hours during the day. But while I've been here, it's like I've already gotten, like, I think, was it 5 or 6 clients already ready for January's commission list? Like, just by playing this game in 3 months. So
Pop off.
I'm ready to go, I guess. Absolutely, honestly.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so you do mostly 2D art, you said?
Yeah, mostly 2D art at the moment, but I am planning, hopefully once I get confident in doing a bit more 3D, what I might do for 3D at the moment is, which I've noticed on not just Gumroad but Jinxie as well, is there is a lack in a lot of Avies, not just with the Kiki, because that's a whole other story in itself, is like the lack of clothes with the Kiki is like absolutely abysmal, even though it's a popular model. But I've noticed that in general, a lot of like the clothes that are made are orientated towards not just the human avatars, but also a lot of the female furry avatars. And when you look at the male avatars, it's a few things, like maybe some underwear, maybe a shirt, maybe trousers, but nothing like, I'd say, substantial to some people like. So I kind of want to bring my 3D skills, which I should mention I actually have a degree in reality in design for costume for film and TV, and I have a program to make 3D clothing, so I'm going to be hopefully using that to help make actual clothing for actual avatars, hopefully next year at some point.
That's pretty cool. I've always kind of juggled like what kind of clothes my guy would wear, because he's kind of an odd shape. He's a bit of a pear, you know.
He is a.
Only I think of really is like a sweatshirt or something.
And there's always something for everybody out there. You never know.
Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to some more questions relating to real life things. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, what do you do for work?
So, I did mention that I am a freelance artist. I actually got that not just both legally, the sense we good per se. There's a thing in Ireland called the LEO, which is Local Enterprise Office. It basically means for self-business, or self-employment rather, my mispronunciation of wording. So what I do for work basically is I'm a character concept artist, specifically within the furry fandom, considering there is a market in there, and it is a niche as well. So one thing I tend to do a lot is, at the moment I am just, drawing illustrations, which is fine, but what I specifically do is I help people come up with actual personas and help them come up with characters, and in some cases help them come up with certain lore, depending as well, because that was part of my college course, is actually world building and figuring out like what these type of characters are. So like that could be things like the species to like, you know, what they wear, where they live, etc.
So you like help people with character design for work, basically.
Basically that, yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I manage an artist friend of mine, or at least I used to, and he does something similar for people too. He has like a little, like if you pay extra, he'll help you design an OC during the commission.
Lovely,
Yeah.
And I have met my fair share of artists here who have actually connected with as well, which I've really enjoyed.
There's a lot of cool artists out there, especially on this platform.
But it depends, realistically, I would say, like, because like, the one thing I am getting a lot of help with, especially I want to go into the 3D aspect as well as 2D, is I've met a good amount of 3D artists here, both who help me with not just Unity and Substance Painter, but I've even met one of my closest friends. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 days into playing this game. He's helped me get things like ZBrush, Substance Painter. He also got me a bunch of custom brushes for both Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint, which have been an absolute godsend.
That's pretty cool. What is your favorite song?
Ooh, now we're getting into interesting territory.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not listening to usually OSTs, weirdly enough, I actually listen to a lot more foreign music. Whether like, and I'm not being like once here where it's like, you know, oh, I listen to K-pop. Like, yeah, granted, I do listen to K-pop. I like it, but my main go-to usually at the moment is a lot of Russian music. And one of my favorite songs is from actually a Russian artist. Well, she's originally Ukrainian, but she sings in Russian most of the time. Is if I'm right in my pronunciation, it's Novi Rim, which means New Rome in Russian, and it's I don't know what way to describe it. It's just a weird song, but it's just me. It's like an aesthetic. Like just looking at the music video and the lyrics, when granted translated into English, like it is an aesthetic.
No, I understand. Like, not like Slavic culture in general is like really cool as an aesthetic. I'm half Ukrainian and half Belarusian, and I grew up in a household surrounded by people, you know, speaking the language and, you know, with all like specific cultural stuff. Like for example, Russians and I don't know if it's other Eastern European countries, they have the Russian New Year, which has a bunch of its own characters and stuff. It's very much like Christmas, but you have Ded Moroz, who's Father Snow, and you have Snegurichka, which is Princess Frost or whatever. And there's like, you're supposed to like wrap treats in like tin foil and put it on the tree and stuff. Like I grew up doing that with my grandparents. I love my grandparents. And Russian food is so good. I love Slavic food.
You're gonna love this one so much, but this is a coincidence of the highest order. I am half Belarusian.
Oh shit! Where was your family from?
So I'm actually adopted from Belarus. I came over to Ireland when I was 3 years old.
Oh.
So I'm unsure of like my origins per se, but I know I came originally from Mogilev.
I don't know that town, but my grandparents and my mother came from Gomel.
Mogilev, it would have been during like the 90s, I would assume, when like a lot of like after like post Chernobyl, a lot of the kids were sent from Ukraine. It could be Ukrainian for all I know, honestly.
You know,
but I don't know my history.
Gomel is the first town after Kiev, basically, in Belarus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there's a good chance that you are from the place where my parents are from.
That would be so wild.
That would be crazy. That would be actually crazy.
Oh my god, hello, hello, I'm Bangla's brother, hi.
Hi, cousin.
Hi, cousin.
Do you know how to speak any Russian? Знаете, говорить русский?
Нет, мне говорю-ски, это не хорошо, я говорю только по-английски.
Только на английский, okay. Okay. No, that's crazy though. That's actually crazy.
I can read it. but it's when it's speaking it, I'm like, oh, I need to
No,
stop and
yeah,
think. I can speak.
yeah. I can't read it, but I can understand exactly what my grandparents are saying most of the time, and I can't speak it as well as them. I only know enough to not starve at my grandma's house. That's about it.
Which is funny because I've lived in Ireland most of my life, and granted, our dialect of English is wild as is, but for some reason, and this, I don't know what it is, but like me, I still struggle with English, like misspelling in English, horrible. But basically, I speak also, weirdly enough, fluent French.
That's pretty cool.
Like that language stuck to me.
I can speak Spanish like a toddler, according to my artist friend who's from Peru. He hates whenever I speak Spanish. He really hates it. It's to the point that if he's pissing me off, I will start speaking Spanish because it pains him.
Oh, good lord.
Dude, that's crazy though.
That is wild, honestly.
That is crazy. What is your favorite meal?
I like. Here's the thing: Irish food does not do it for me. I'm sorry. Okay, crucify me on a cross.
You have haggis. I do not blame you.
No, it's not haggis. We have things like I think the only thing that decent came out of this country at times when it comes
shepherd's
to food
pie.
Is shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
It's just shepherd's pie. Anything other than that, I'm like, stop immediately, please.
Yeah.
You just can't. For me personally, my favorite food is, I would say, anything sushi-wise.
Oh, I love sushi. Oh, I love sushi. I haven't had good sushi in so long. I have to go to my parents down in California to have good sushi.
It's so filling. Like, people underestimate how filling it is.
Homie, I'm eating 3 rolls.
How?
What do you mean, how? They're like little pieces. They're like one bite each.
But it's funny. I know it's funny because
like each one's
we get takeout, and like if we get takeout, everyone buys like a thing like a spice bag over here, which is like a very Irish thing apparently. But then I'll get like 8 pieces of sushi rolls, and I'm done, and I'm full. And they're like, "How are you full eating that?" I'm like, "Try it yourself. You'll find out."
Well, is it like really spicy rolls or something?
Nah, they're just like plain. They're not that spicy.
Maybe you're just skinny, bro.
Spice.
Maybe you're just skinny.
Maybe I just am. Maybe I'm just built different.
I'm fat, bro. I'm just, you know, I look like I like to eat.
Oh no, actually, here's the scary thing is because I do live with my boyfriend. They see me eat and they're like, "How are you so small and skinny and you eat more than the 3 of us combined?" I'm like, I don't know.
Oh man, that really powerful metabolism, huh?
A powerful metabolism that goes absolutely nowhere.
Goes nowhere. What is a random fun fact about yourself?
Oh god, what is a random fun fact about me? I'm such an open book. I think I've like pretty much said everything about me, but I would say if I were to go back to anything I did say, it would just be the fact that when it comes to languages, I don't know why they just stick to me. Like, it's weird. Like, I'll pick up a language really fast, and I don't know why. Like, I won't have to sit down and, like, that sounds like a flex. It's not a flex, I swear. But it's like, I could, like, I'll sit down, look at it, and then I'll just be like, that sticks with me. Like, I can't speak Arabic, but I can read the alphabet now, and I can actually read what it's saying.
I've heard it's pretty similar to like alphanumeric alphabet for Arabic alphabet. It's all phonetic like ours.
Yeah, but then, you know, Irish English is just like terrible. Don't ask me to speak Irish. My Irish is terrible.
What's that one? No, I think Welsh is worse. I think the Welsh dialect is probably the worst version of English. What's that one town? Welsh. That one town that's 40 letters long. You know what I'm talking about.
Lanfried something go walk, and it's like
God.
I'll just call it Lanfried.
I just sometimes wonder, like, how the hell does like a regional dialect like that happen? Was someone drunk?
I don't know.
Were several people drunk?
Possibly. My real question is why is the W sound in Welsh a Y, and why is the Y sound a U? I don't get that.
You know, in Russian, the Y sound is a U. The Y letter is a U.
Yeah, like there's this U, but then in like Welsh, it's not even U or
it's
like
U.
Like it's literally, it's like U. and it's like,
Yo.
what?
Yo.
Yeah, it's like, what is this?
Oh. It's like that. It's like that
can't.
puffer fish with the carrot. Oh.
The fish guys.
Oh no! I did Welsh people dirty.
Oh, we're getting cancelled. See you, boys.
We're getting cancelled. The Welsh hate me. What do you do to relax after a busy day?
I feel like here's the weird thing is I'll just sit on YouTube and put it on random and see what happens. But like half the time I'm sitting there watching meme videos and hoping for the best. That I just see something that just makes me go, yeah, relatable. And it could be someone just standing there on a T-pose with the weirdest ass music. Like my humor's that like gone. Like I'll literally look at a piece of bread falling and I'll be cackling like a witch.
So you're telling me that if I just did this, you'd laugh?
Stop, please. My humor's terrible.
Look at me!
My humor.
Look at me!
You know for a fact someone's gonna clip that and it's just gonna be out of context.
I need fans for someone to clip that, bro. We'll see. We'll
Bro,
see.
I don't have fans. I already have like a sticker of my
I'm
real
your
life
fan.
face making
I'm
its
your
rounds.
fan, bro.
No, listen.
One subscriber.
Bro, listen. I was in a bloody Discord server and I was all on face cam. There's a sticker of me making its rounds on Discord somewhere of my real life face. I look like Linus Tech Tips. You know that one meme where
The one where he's
staring at
crying, where he
Nelson?
says he's gonna quit.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. That's the face of me. It's literally that being spread around. Now.
Jesus
I'm like, you know what,
Christ.
I'm a meme. I'll own it.
I have a picture just like that of me from when I was building my first computer. My mom asked me for a picture of
God.
myself because she was asking how it was going and she wanted a selfie. And I just took a picture of like me looking fucking miserable, just holding up like my iFixit screwdriver, and I was just like in the camera with it, and I was like covered in sweat from being bent over for the last 3 hours.
Oh God. I can feel that on you, man. I feel that.
I'll show you the picture after. We're moving on now to some more personal questions. Alright, we're gonna get deep into these things. Are you ready for that?
Go on for the deepness.
Alright. Who or what has had the biggest influence on your life?
This is going to sound really cheesy, and I genuinely do not mean to be cheesy. I have a reason. Unironically,
Okay.
it is my boyfriend.
Okay, yeah.
Because I would say a lot of my life views, a lot of my views towards people, a lot of the way I think about things has actually changed by having conversations with him. That I found myself becoming much more, I would say, nuanced, balanced in a lot of situations, even like in extreme ones, where I'm just like, you know, like, I'd say most people take like a side, like in one way or the other, but me, I'm like, nah, I can't. I have to get both sides of things, because otherwise I will lose it.
Like for a story?
More in the sense of like, whether it be a story, anything to do with society, anything to do with philosophy, because we do a lot of philosophical talks as well. Sounds cringe, I know, but we do.
Yeah, I like
And
philosophy.
it's like, yeah, like it gets into deep talk as well, and that's why I like, you know, I want to be a bit more nuanced in a lot of things, because I feel like not everything is black and white, everything is a spectrum. Even the color, like between black and white, is like a spectrum in itself.
What is a memory from the past that you still think about today?
I have a few from the past, anyway. Could be positive, could be negative. I'm just trying to think. What's a memory I have that I just think of? Me personally, I think the one that always comes to mind, that just randomly comes into my head, is I would say my first day of secondary school. And I don't know why that's in my head. It's like, it wasn't like a bad day or anything. Like, it was a fine day, but I remember taking like the entrance exams, remember learning like the layout of the school, and like, it does sound mundane, it sounds boring, etc. But to me it's the idea of like, oh my god, I'm actually transitioning from one aspect of childhood to like teenagehood. Like it's that like heavy of like a switch that like nothing prepares you for it.
Just to clarify, secondary school is like that's like middle school for you guys, right?
It's a mixture of your middle school and high school.
Oh, okay. Do you like graduate from high school from secondary school? To college?
You graduate, but you can go to college or you can take on an apprenticeship. We don't really have the whole high school diploma things here.
Well, it's actually kind of similar, because if you graduate from high school from us, you can go to a trade school or to a college.
Oh yeah. Then
Yeah.
yeah, we just don't have like I know some high schools have diplomas in the states, from what I know, but we don't have those here in any of our schools.
I graduated in 2020 from high school, and like during COVID, and that was kind of weird for me. Weird for other reasons I'm not gonna get into here, but part of it was that I never had to take like any of the big tests, like the SAT or the ACT tests. I don't know if they have something like that for Ireland. There's like
We
tests
have
you
a
could like you
thing
can like
called
tests that like you can put the result on your diploma and it'll actually look good for jobs.
We have a thing at the end called a leaving cert. Now, when I did that, that was God knows how many years ago. I'm not doing the maths on that because, hey, I didn't go to school to do maths. I did go to school to do maths. That's just a terrible meme. But if you get that reference, you get the reference.
I don't get the reference, sadly. I'm sorry.
It's a reference from Drag Race. It's one of the queens saying, like, I didn't go to school to do math. Like, it's literally that.
Okay.
But, with me, it's like you do the leaving cert, and there's a point system. The highest you can get is 625 or 625 rather, and that like shows really good. And I think if you get anything over 450, you do pretty well. And most courses are usually asking for between 200 to 300 anyway. It's when you get into higher courses in college where they're like, we need like 500 or more. Or in some cases, in some courses I've seen like full 600, and they're like extreme. But it's been I think the leaving certs at the moment, the junior certs are already going through like a reconstruction at the moment. They're now switching it over from it used to be a 2-week thing done over 2 weeks, same with the leaving cert. They're now changing it from the 2-week thing to a continuous assessment thing, so it's like one assessment per month, which honestly is much more easier because in the leaving cert, like if 5th year and 6th year, which is like I think your grade 11 and grade 12, I believe, in 5th year and 6th year, it's like you're cramming in everything in 2 years to do a 2-week test that realistically, no one's going to ask you about your points anymore after you get your job. Like, no one really asks. Like, that's why it's being hopefully changed.
I feel like it's also kind of how it is in America. Like, I've never seen someone mention an SAT or ACT score requirement for a job posting anymore, or like a GPA requirement for a job posting anymore. I think a lot of businesses are realizing that like as long as they qualify, they qualify.
We have GPA over here. Funny enough, I remember getting mine. I was a solid 2.4, babes.
I had a terrible GPA for like middle school and going forward. I sucked at doing homework. I was always good at tests, but I sucked at remembering to do homework and stuff.
Oh, same. But like, here's the thing: is like the first year of college, I got like a full-on 4 GPA. Then college, I got like 3 something. Then the last 2 years, I kind of just gave up mentally, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta deal with the 2.4. I don't care anymore at this point."
I failed all my classes on my first term of community college, and that just sunk my GPA ever since. I'm stuck in the 2.8 hole because of that.
I once failed one module, and honestly, to be fair with you, it was kind of funny. Like, I don't know what module it was. It was something to do with like similar kind of communications, but more in the artsy world. And it was just bad. It was bad. Like, bro, it was terrible. I barely got a D.
I failed one of my communications classes because one of my presentations was supposed to be only 8 minutes long and it went for 17 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
I had to retake that class
as well.
Yeah.
Bro, that was the same with me. Like, my thesis was either had to be like I think like 8,000 or 10,000 words. But there was also the option to do a 40-minute video. I went for the 40-minute video, which ended up becoming nearly an hour. And I was like, I don't care. I'm not editing anymore. Just take it. Leave me alone.
What was the biggest risk you have taken, and what happened?
I would say actually going self-employed. Realistically, that is probably my biggest risk because it's an unstable job I'm in at the moment, granted, and it's like, I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing, it's just the fact of the matter is that it is unstable. Because there are some months where I've had people coming in no problem, and then there's other months where like no one comes in, it's like a barren wasteland. The reason I went self-employed is because I was actually doing well, and then COVID happened, and then I went and decided like thinking like, oh well, with COVID kind of like, somewhat clearing up, I'll go into doing self-employed. I did the course, I did everything, yada yada yada. Funny enough, didn't have to pay for any of it because
nice.
let's go welfare system maybe. I don't know what it is, but I didn't have to pay for anything. Yeah, it's been doing decent. Like I think the first few months I did decently in, and then maybe in November was no November October was probably my worst month because I had one person come in that was going to pay a decent amount, but then they flaked at the end, and I was like, oh, I'm not making anything this month then. So yeah, I'd say that's my biggest risk, but it's paying off since I've started playing VR because I am getting more
Nice.
people coming in now, so that's what I'm happy about.
What motivates you to keep pushing through life?
Granted, I do make a lot of jokes about like life being terrible, life being absolutely pure shit, as we all do. But I think what motivates me at the end of the day is just being like, it's gonna sound weird, but there's a song I listen to called it's called "Dead" by Madeline. She's a upcoming artist. I'm surprised that she's not famous at all. But honestly, you know what? Keep that indie label. Honestly, I love her. But it's like the lyrics of it. I'm not going to sing for anybody here. Do not expect me to sing. I am not a singer. But one of the lyrics is basically like saying like I keep thinking to myself, it'll all be fine because one day I'm going to be dead. And at the end of the day, that's what kind of keeps motivating me is the idea of like leave an imprint on your life that you want people to remember you by, and making sure it's a good one on the way out because you're not going to have a redo again. And I think that's what keeps me motivated is just like, you know, you never know when one's time comes, and I think it's better to just live every day like it's their last. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is that. Like, there's a reason why it is that.
No, I understand. Yeah, you're motivated by legacy, basically.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
leave a good legacy.
What fucking movie was it Coco or Book of Life that was like if people forget about you then you die or what then you really die or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, but it's one of them anyway, because it's been ages since I've watched either or.
Yeah, no, I think that rings pretty true.
Oh yeah, of course it does, and I feel like the more people have realized that, I say the more people that end up being, it's gonna sound weird, but happier, like, you know, much more filling. Like, what are you waiting for? Just go for it. You're not gonna get this chance again.
What is a moment or experience that has changed your perspective on something?
Okay, this one is gonna be a wee bit personal, so I'm gonna try my best to like not say anything too out of the way.
Got it.
But I would say this home world at the moment, this was actually a VR experience. Listen, we've all been in VR drama, we've all had our fair share of shit that happens, and you know, is what it is. But I would say there was an argument, I would say to my friend, like I consider him my friend now, but there was an argument me and my friend got into, and it was in this world here. I kind of did something I shouldn't have done, and nothing bad. It was just miscommunication.
Yeah.
I left, came back to my home world. I forgot I was on Blue. They were friends with me. I went downstairs to get food, came back upstairs, and without a little platform is behind us, I was sitting there, and I came back. Yeah, basically that platform up there. I came back, and they were sitting, staring me down, and I was like, oh god, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this now, because I thought, like, you know, we'd have time to cool down or something, yada yada yada. But they wanted to nip it in the bud, which is fair enough. The argument got messy, I'll say that much. It got messy, but there was a point where they got really upset in the argument that I genuinely thought they nearly cried, and I was like, I felt so bad about that I was like, I don't care if I'm right or wrong in this, I don't want to make them feel upset. And I think it was that moment that made me realize what you can say can actually affect someone in the worst way, even if it is a small little thing, and you have to watch what you say. It's not about being like quote unquote woke or PC, it's just common respect and courtesy.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand.
And it was a dumb argument anyway, like we're fine now. Like we chit chat now and then.
That's good to hear. Alright. Well, it's about that time of the podcast. You see, one thing that makes us a little bit different is that we allow the guests to bring up their own topic or question to ask themselves. So what do you have to bring for us today?
I'm going to ask you regarding about, and from your experience or friends, it can be anyone's, is regarding the view on PC-only users versus Quest-only users. And I'll elaborate on that. Do you think there's a stark difference in how the general VR community treats PC only and Quest only? So these are people who don't have a VR headset,
Yes.
or people who don't have a computer.
100% yes. But I think that it's justified on both sides. Well, I don't really know any like stereotypes for PC only users. I mean, the only one I could think of is like ones that hate Quest users, I suppose, because like that's like the most varied group in VR chat. However, if you're a new player, you're generally gonna be a Questie, like,
Yeah.
and you're most likely gonna be a young kid who was just given a headset by their parents, and it's like
Yeah.
the super iPad kid, you know,
Oh god, yeah, I know.
and
I
then
feel
they
you on
cause
that
trouble
one.
for everyone else. And so I think that, like, you know it's like how the bad eggs can make the overall group look bad. It's like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bad eggs, and everyone on VR chat has to deal with them too. Everyone on VR chat has dealt with an annoying child that's a Quest user. And so I wouldn't say it's unjustified to have that stereotype about Quest users. The other side of the coin, Quest users need Quest compliant avatars, and they're a pain to make, especially if you're an avatar creator and you're like made a really cool avatar, and now you have to work on Unity, the bane of my existence, to make it Quest
Bane of all
compatible.
their existence.
I hate
Exactly.
Unity. I hate Unity so much. I hate this dog shit program, and it's the only option. I really hate Unity. I hate that it decides that whenever I import or export something, or even just randomly when it wants to think, it just takes up it is programmed to take up the remainder of my CPU usage.
The pain
I hate
is
it.
all too real, especially.
It's like I have
yeah.
nothing better to do but stare at a loading screen. It is annoying. It is slow.
Oh, with me, this one thing I hate about Unity is like I thought this was when I was using it during VR. No, this happens during like out of VR. I'll be loading up Unity, and then out of nowhere it'll start up, and half of my screen will just be a flashing black bar, and I have to close down Unity completely. And I thought it was my GPU. It's not. My CPU is a bloody Ryzen 5. That's the problem. It is terrible.
Ryzen 5 5500.
I think so. I don't like it.
I need to get an upgrade. Yeah.
I work at a PC repair shop. My boss hates AMD chips and cards. He
Really?
just hates AMD in
Oh,
general.
God.
Yeah. He says all they're good for is heating you in the winter.
That's a good way to view it. Too.
You can get the same result from an AMD card. I'm gonna give the Threadrippers an exception because they beat Intel out of the fucking water. However, they still, you can probably fry an egg on those. And I think that any
God.
NVIDIA card can outdo any AMD card for graphics and stuff. NVIDIA's just been in the game for too long.
I'm still like, I still don't know where I'm at with cards because people are telling me, AMD's better, NVIDIA's better, and I'm just here
Yeah,
like,
people
I don't
argue
know.
about
Let
it.
me do my damn research.
But back to your original thing, I think that Questies has kind of earned themselves the stereotype, and it's not. I'm not blaming this on them either because it's specific people,
Yep.
and I don't like to generalize
Yep.
people, but I can't help it but like kind of steer clear of them if I can because of it.
It's like, parents, stop giving your kids a VR headset for
Please,
Christmas.
please don't. My grandparents, when my family came to where I live to visit me earlier this year, and my grandparents used my Quest for the first time ever. Their first VR headset ever. My grandparents are like
Hey.
Eastern European, Russian, whatever, and like they were raised in the USSR, and you think like, oh, they're probably anti-tech, anti-modern, whatever. They're like boomers. No, they like embraced it completely. They've had every new iPhone. They've had, you know what I think it is? They're engineers.
Well,
Engineers need
Oh,
good
there's your
computers.
answer.
Yeah, they're engineers. They like good technology, and so like their whole house is modern, and they have automated toilets that clean themselves. One of them like opens up the lid when you walk into the room to use the bathroom. They have like heated flooring on like in the bathroom and stuff. Electric showers, so there's always heat.
Over here, they're
They're living in like the
2024 over
they're
there.
living in the 30th century. They have a smart
Exactly.
kitchen. They have an Alexa. They have like the best TV money can buy every time.
God damn.
But like they tried my headset for the first time because they were curious, and now my grandfather's become obsessed with it, and he's like did a bunch of research on it, and he got my cousins, who's like their only other grandkid, but he lives in Australia with my aunt, who lives in Australia too. They're gonna give him a Quest headset, the Quest 3.
Oh, damn.
And
That's
he's
cool.
like, I think he's 13, I think. So I called up my aunt and was like, listen, I have to tell you something. I have to forewarn you things to look out for when your son is on that headset, okay? And so I explained like the dangers VR chat can bring to kids, and that she should 100% be in the same room while he's playing. And like be able to see the screen that he's playing from and stuff. So I hope that goes well. I plan to actually play with him a bit to show him the ropes once he gets it, so that'll be pretty fun. I think I said everything I could about Quest versus PC users.
Fair enough, honestly, that's such a good answer.
Yeah. Alright. Well, that has been this episode of the Kreachur Feature Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you that choose to watch this. Have a good day, have a good evening, have a good whatever, and I'll see you guys later.
See ya. Bye.